Hey guys, I know many of you know that I lost the footage of last week's video due to the cold weather in the garage at that time, and I have to film it all again. I managed to upload this video finally, and thank you for the really good comments on this one as well as on any other video that I'm uploading. But it seems that Murphy's Law has struck again, so do you know that moment when you have a really good idea and you are really completely sure that it's working out perfectly? You believe that you have absolutely no prototyping to do or no planning to do. You just rush into it because it's such a good idea and it's such a great thing, and yeah, it fails. Yesterday I was filming another project video for you guys, and what should I say? It was a really big fail. I still think that the basic idea was pretty good, so I was thinking about if I should upload this video or even go through the whole effort of editing it, and I came to the conclusion not to do so. Not because I'm afraid of showing you my fails, because showing fails sometimes can inspire you to make it better or to make an improved version, and it will really work out as a good video. But in this case I got the whole concept wrong. So not only the end result wasn't working, but regardless of how you do it, it will never work this way, so I see no really big value in showing it to you. And so after all, I don't really have any build video to show to you guys this week. But after spending 6 hours today to clean up our old house in the background here, I was thinking about why don't make the Q&A video. And because I've never shown my old house to you, why don't make the Q&A video there? So I hope you don't giving me a hard time for not uploading a build video this time and only doing the long promised Q&A. Please enjoy it. If you don't like it, just click away. There are many other old videos from me on this channel right here. And of course, stay tuned for our next build video. And now just follow up with your questions. And thanks to the magic of video editing, we are now right here in my old living room, sitting on my own couch, which is basically the last thing which is standing in here. And before I start answering your questions, I have to make 2 additional points. Point number 1, I know that most people who will look at this video are really interested in how the last months went and really interested in how I answer the questions. So I will try to make it all in one go. That means basically that I'm not going to cut this video very often. I'm just going to cut it where it's really necessary, when I really get into some troubles with the words or finding the right sentence. And there will be many spelling and grammar fails in this video. But you have understood me in the last videos, you will understand me today, so I hope that is not too much of a problem for you. Second point, and it's kind of in relation with the first point, due to the try of taking this video in basically only one shot, there will be no fancy camera angles or angle changing at all. So if you're not interested in the answers to the questions, please click away now, because in the next 10 or 15 minutes you are going to watch me talking about stuff. I'm not going to make anything, I'm not going to change the camera angles to make this whole video more appealing. So you have been warned. Just click away now when you're not interested. So now I will just take my tablet here, where I have written together the most common questions, the questions from you guys. And before I go into answer them, I have to prepare myself a little bit. For all of you who have seen a last Q&A video, preparation for speaking a really, how should I say it, a really good and a really appealing English, I have to enhance my language skills a little bit, and there is no better way to speak a foreign language than drinking lots of alcohol. I'm not saying it's really good to drink alcohol, but I want this video at least to be, halfway good, so this will definitely work. And of course, drinking alcohol is only bad if you drink it from cheap aluminum cans or something. It's never bad to drink it from a horn. to cut that out. I also want to warn you, because I'm not able to answer all of the questions seriously. There are many questions which are, I wouldn't say dumb, but sometimes I don't really get the point of questions. For example, there is this one question from a guy, will tell you his name. By the way, I will tell the names of everyone who asked a question, and please forgive me if your question is not amongst them. Because there are really many questions which are basically the same, so I took one that I can easily answer and which gets this whole bulk of questions into one common sense. And yeah, so I will do it that way. Okay, so the question I was talking about is the following. Why are Austrians speaking German? Do they don't have their own language? Seriously? I think it's the same reason why Americans speak English. Not a really good point. Okay, to get it at least a little bit serious, Austrians speak German, yes, that's right. And we are speaking our own kind of German, like the Americans have their American English, and some of the words which the Brits are using are not really similar to the same thing named by an American. So you get the point, it's just like that. We have our own words, they have our own words, we all understand each other more or less. Yeah, it depends on the region where you're in, but yeah, really dumb question, don't you think? Okay, so I have changed the camera angle now. It's maybe the last time that I was doing that, just because I wanted to sit a little bit better here on my couch. And now we are going to start with the more serious questions. And the first one is, and it's the most commonly asked questions over the last 8 months. As many of you know, the last 8 months we were not uploading videos at all. And yeah, back to the question. Oh, okay. It's German. But it brings me to another question. Many of you said they wanted to hear me talk German because they are kind of thinking that when I talk in another language I will sound much different. So it's a pretty long question. I will tell it to you in German, so you can judge in the comment section below if my voice is sounding different when I talk German compared with talking English. Okay, so ein Q&A-Video wäre toll. Ich denke, wir alle sind sehr gespannt, was bei euch so los ist und vor allem, was passiert ist. Aber nur, wenn es für dich auch okay ist, uns das zu erzählen. Du wolltest ja bei deiner Bug-Out-Location einige Videos drehen, Overnight- und Hunting-Videos wären toll. Yeah, just stop it for there. So, this guy, which is Bushcraft Voralpen, and because he's named that way, I'm really curious where he's coming from, because I think he could be some kind of a neighbor of mine. So if you hear that, Bushcraft Voralpen, feel free to contact me, maybe we can meet someday. So he basically asks that he's thinking that every one of our viewers are curious to know what we have done in this long months of not uploading videos. And the question is pretty easy. Basically we were working a lot, and yeah, the reason why we don't uploaded as much videos were that it's not easy to answer for me. I have a few issues financially and a few issues in family, so I was not really in the mood of filming anything, being funny or something. And there were also really a few big changes. Yeah, and the summary of that all was that I had to left the old place where I was living and basically starting a new life all over. That is also the reason why I introduced the new workshop to you. It's not on my old property, it's in fact about 60 something kilometers away from there. So yes, I also fell into a big kind of hole because it was kind of stressful to me, and also kind of, yeah, emotional, when that is the right word. So long story short, don't want it really to film any videos, but you know, life have to go on, and I'm pretty happy right now, so let's see what the future brings. He also asks about hunting videos, overnighters. Yeah, there will be hunting videos. I'm still hunting a lot, and also overnighters. They are really time consuming, and as many of you also knows, right now I'm building a house and trying to make videos and trying to earn money. So there is not really as much time as I want to have. But there will be for sure some overnighters, especially with my daughter in the summer. Yeah, he asks, in addition to that, yeah, the whole YouTube demonetizing stuff, yeah. I think I have talked enough about the YouTube demonetizing things. You know, most of my videos get demonetized for reasons that I don't fully understand. The only thing I would say is I've joined the YouTubers Union, and I strongly encourage you to do the same thing, basically. So check out the YouTubers Union on Facebook, and also leave us a like there. There's also a homepage and a forum, you can go there, you can discuss. And right now we are basically 10,000 members in this union, mostly YouTubers. It was founded by fellow YouTuber Jörg Sprave from the Slingshot channel. The Slingshot, you know what a slingshot is? Slingshot, okay. From the Slingshot channel. And yeah, he founded it. It's a really great thing. Check out his channel. It's really great. It helps us also out. It helps us out a lot. It helps us out a lot. And what also helps me out a lot, and I can't say thank you too often, I think, is you guys. Your awesome comments, your support on Patreon, your clicking on like under my videos. It's really great. Thank you for that. Okay, next question. Do you still have the Styrer AUG? For sure, I have it. It will appear in the future videos as well. Easy answer on that. Yeah, I also have to translate that from German to English. It kind of fucks up my mind a little bit to do this while reading it. Yes, about emergency electricity and something. The generator build is still on its way. Also on the new property I have a small creek running beside the house, so that will be the perfect opportunity for some water power generator. And stay tuned for that in this summer. Yes, and ich freue mich schon aufs nächste Video. He quits his question with. So that was it for that question. The next question. Love your videos. I don't really have any questions other than what happened to your old shop. Okay, so number one, just let me take a little nip. Okay, what happened to our old shop? So, it has not burned down as many of you suggested, but I really understand why you thought it has burned down, so I can understand you in that regard. In that regard? Was that English? I don't care, you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, no, it hasn't. It was basically just a garage, not the kind of garage like a shop or a workshop. It was a garage for a tractor. And every time when I finished making the video, I have to pull the whole workbench with the whole stuff on it out, get it in the room nearby that I can put in the tractor again. And that sucks, but I don't have any workshop big enough to get really good camera angles, so it was a good solution to the problem. And yeah, now I have a dedicated workshop, dedicated for filming and making and producing cool stuff, so that is a great addition, I think. Yeah, I just have to move. Okay, there was Murphy's Law again. I was talking and talking and talking, and my camera battery died, and I don't notice it, and yes. I don't know exactly where to break off, but I'm not really going to review the whole footage to get it. So basically it's easy to answer the question. I had to move. The new shop as well as my new home is many miles away from the old one, and yeah, we're moving. The old shop is still there, but I'm not, so it's as easy as that. Next question. And now I have the questions about the locations and survival stuff. Okay, it's really bad. The guy or girl who have written that has a name that reminds me of French language, and my French really sucks. It really sucks. I don't get the pronunciation, I miss every second word, so don't talk French to me, please. Yeah, I'm trying to pronounce it. La Messine Païenne. La Messine Païenne. What's this I with the 2 dots on it instead of 1? That's some kind of... yeah. I tried to show it to you. Do you see it? If this is your name, please. If this is your name, please. Take a little and short video, send it to my Facebook as a private message, and just in this video just say how you pronounce that. I totally don't get it. But now to your question. What medical supplies, for example antibiotics, do you keep in large quantities for a post-apocalyptic situation? So that's really easy. Or maybe it's not as easy. So the problem in Austria is that you have to get a prescription for many really good medicines or tablets or pills. Pills was the word. And it's really hard to get them in large quantities when you are not trying to go to jail for the possession of drugs. So long answer short, I think you should keep bigger amounts of medicine when you have some kind of medical issues which are known and which you have all the time, so you can deal with them in a post-apocalyptic scenario, especially when it is something like insulin. Don't know if insulin, the thing with the sugar thing. When you have that kind of medical issue, it's really important that you have some bigger quantities of it. I personally keep the good old military 800 milligram ibuprofen, also known in America as Motrin, which is really good as pain relief and yeah, for all of that kind of stuff. I have personally really big amounts of disinfection material, so antibacterial things which you can basically kill the bacteria in an open wound or something like that. Yeah, first aid kits, a really big thing are first aid kits. You can't have enough from them. You can't have enough of them, and they will really come handy if the shit hits the fan. So there you have it. It's the 800 milligram ibuprofen, whatever brand you may prefer. and a lot of disinfection material and medical supplies in general, like bandages or something like that. That's what personally I'm keeping. Add-in Music asks, please make more Q&A. I read that in this slow kind of pace because he's also written his question in German and I have to translate it. So kannst du bitte mal ein Video machen, wo du deine Bug-out Camps zeigst? Can you make a video where you can show us your bug-out locations? Yeah, for sure. I'll show you one, the big bug-out storage unit which I have in the woods, and I will show you the building of a bug-out location in the summer, because where I live now I have to make at least 2 of them, and also I will show you my old one, because the fact that I've left this place doesn't mean that I'm not going back to it when the shit hits the fan, because I'm really familiar with the ground there and know every single branch, every single tree in this area, so it will be still my preferred bug-out location in a scenario. So we'll go back there, I will show it to you for sure, and let's continue with the next question. Taylor Grimm asks, could you do some videos about hunting and rifle more? Please? People, sorry, it wasn't a please, it was people. My eyes are not really good anymore. People enjoyed those. But if they won't make you any money, then maybe things like mountain survival or winter. Okay, I am bad at English, but I have read this exactly like it stands there. So maybe Tyler Grimm, if English is not your native language, it's okay, same as me. If English is your native language, please, take care. So, y'all's comedy is very fun to watch. You all could do more of that, parody of survival or anything really. Okay. The big question in this comment is, can you do more videos about rifles? Yeah, for sure. As all of my videos are demonetized basically, it doesn't really matter. So there will be for sure some rifle videos to come. And thank you very much for the positive response on our fun and parody things. I really think people take some things way too serious, like this whole basic survival stuff. I've made several parodies of it because I really believe that, and I've said this already, survival should be survive with what you have, and skills are really helpful, skills are really useful, but the good old discussion about making a fire. Yeah. I've made fire. I had no bow drill, I had no paracord on me or something like that. I have no charcoal and I still managed to make myself some fire, so yeah. Just as easy as that. Thanks very much. I really appreciate when you write comments like this, because sometimes people don't like the comedian part of it, the part of my videos, but I say but way too often. Sorry. I really like to do those. I really like to build stuff, but I also trying to be kind of funny. I'm not thinking that I'm really a fun guy in the sense of the word, but yeah, just to open some eyes sometimes. I love it. I just love it. So, not also I say but too often, I also say so too often. And yes, and I say and too often. I get that. Sorry for that, guys. Okay, so I've just noticed that I have missed one question, and it's the question from the guy or girl, which name I can't really pronounce because it's French. and he or she was not only asking about the Steyr AUG, but he or she was also asking about what's the next gun you would like to buy. So that's really difficult because I have really many guns that I want to buy. The next one I think will be some kind of cylindrical bore shotgun, because I have some video ideas which are related to homemade ammunition, and I think a cylinder bore gun will be perfect for this, because I just simply don't want to blow myself up. I'm really liking the idea of buying 338 Lapua again. I already had one, it was great, and I really like this big kind of long range calibers. I've also owned a 300 WAYYY Magnum, not Winchester, WAYYY Magnum. It's a really great cartridge and I've shot a lot with it. Just had to sell it in the last year because of my financial issues, but maybe I will get one of those in the future again. So a little bit of oddball ammunition, but when I have one you will especially see a video from it. And because you can never have enough 22s, so that's probably the most likely thing that I will buy next, another 22, because my daughter is really getting into this whole shooting stuff, and I think some kind of short, handy, light 22 long rifle like the Ruger 1022 for example, something semi-automatic will be a good choice, I think. But if you have any questions about what gun should I buy next, just leave it in the comment section below, because I really want so much, and sometimes people come up with ideas that opens my eyes and I think, oh yeah, exactly, that's the thing that I want to own next. So feel free to share it with me in the comment section, and don't write some things that costs over $15,000 because I can't afford it at the moment, so a little bit on the cheaper side please. Okay, so let's continue with the questions about the gear. And 338 MRAD, or MRAD, sorry, don't know, asks, I think an occasional Q&A video would be nice. I'd like to add a question if you don't mind. Very polite, I really have to say, very polite. I really appreciate this kind of questioning. Okay, where it is, I've just clicked on the tablet and lost it completely. Yeah, in preparing for when going to a store is no longer an option, what would be good well-rounded material list of parts and pieces be to always have on hand? He is really good in spelling things and grammar and things. I have to try really hard to get this far. Yeah, and basically he asks what's the material list. Okay, it's a really hard question, because if not long ago going to a store is an option, going to a store is kind of in most times an option, because when the shit hits the fan, I will take my truck, I will drive through the front door of the store and take what I need. So yeah, what I keep in stock, for example, are really base materials like paraffin wax. I have made a video about that. I keep aluminum billets in stock from melted down beer cans. I keep basically many motors, electric motors in stock, because an electric motor can always be a generator. And when I'm really in the need of making a lot of electricity and I can't go to just a store and buy some generators, you can build many things out of them, so this will be great. I also have pretty substantial amount of wood, so mainly boards and construction wood at my side at all time, because yeah, you can build something out of them as easy as that. And of course tools. Tools are very essential, not only electric tools, but I have, in the meantime, I've gathered together a really substantial amount of non-electric tools, such as hand drills and hand saws and all together. You don't see them in the videos very often because you know my credo about using what you have. I don't really have the time, and I don't really want to have the time to make a video about building some stuff without power tools when the power tool is just standing nearby. So I think everyone who is in the right mood and who is capable of building something will be able to build the same things which I build with power tools without them. But when I have them, or when he have them, he will use them. And so yeah, a lot of wood, metal stock, so flat metal stock, round metal stock, coal for my forge, for example, and gas. Gas is also a butane gas, like you need on a camping stove, and you can run heater units of it. You can also run forges on it. Butane gas will be a really good material to have in large quantities. I just have a few big bottles of it, but maybe in the future, not a bad idea at all. Why don't keep large quantities of butane gas? Just don't keep it around your fires, but in general, butane gas will be a really nice option. Butane gas, wood, some hoses, piping, so you can make pretty much anything out of everything, or everything out of anything. Yeah, I started going off course a little bit. Basically, you know, I really like to keep stuff. You know that because of the appearance of my shop. It's sometimes pretty messy because I'm not really into throwing things away. Every time when I have, for example, a microwave that doesn't work, I don't throw it away because I can use the transformer in it for making a welding machine, or I can use etc, etc, etc. So yeah, that's a big problem of mine, but fortunately I have, and I always had, enough space to do that. If you don't have the space, some wood, some metal, some butane gas. That will be basically my answer. Okay, before I go any further, I just have to enhance my speaking. Okay, I just was speaking about enhancing my language skills. That was the word. Maybe I've enhanced it a little bit too much, but who knows? Because more is always better, you know. Cheers, guys. Okay, Marko Stojanovic, which is Serbian name, if I get it right, asks, I'm out of the loop on what happened. So yeah, Q&A and the question, what do you take on a day hike? So, what happened in the summer, or at the time where I was not uploading any video? I think I've already answered that. And what things would I take on a one-day hike? Pretty easy. It will be water, it will be something to eat, it will be some kind of weatherproof gear, and a knife. Basically, that's it. I'm talking for sure on going on a one-day hike in my kind of area or my topography. I know my mountains, and when you go on a one-day hike in Antarctica, you will surely need more things. If you go to a one-day hike in the Sahara Desert, you sure need other things. So in my region that will be enough, because if there is any way that the weather gets so bad that I have to make an emergency overnighter somewhere, I have always some kind of branches to make myself a bed. And there is the thing which I don't know right now how to name it in English. It's a kind of a sleeping bag, but it's not padded. We call it bivak sack. It's like a bag, a thin plastic bag, which is waterproof. We can get it for 1 or 2 persons. It's not padded, there are not any insulation in it. It's just a watertight plastic sack, so you can climb in there. And what I really like to take with me, especially when the weather is a little bit colder, is a big wool blanket. Any of you who have seen the overnighter with Lily and me in the winter knows that I love this wool steel blankets, or is blanket the right, you know what I mean. This wool is really warm. When it is 100% real wool, it's a really warm thing, and I like it. I do not have a sleeping bag, I assure you. I had my last sleeping bag about 4 years ago, and after I quit the military I lost my sleeping bag, and yeah, since then I have my wool blanket. So a really big wool blanket, really thick one, helps you out much more than a sleeping bag ever will. So especially in summer when it's hot and you don't need it to insulate yourself against the cold, you can take this wool blanket and make a pretty watertight shelter kind of thing. And it's a really great stuff, so you should buy wool blankets. And I don't leave your Amazon link in the description where I earn money, because I have none. I don't know if there are big wool blankets on Amazon, and I don't earn any money through raffling, so maybe in the future, I don't know. When I indeed have in the future Amazon ref thing, I will post a ref link to a wool blanket under this video. So when you're watching this video in the future, go check it out. My Amazon ref links are all in the video description, and I will earn approximately ½ cent per wool blanket, so just fuck it. Yeah. Next question. The bearded whale. Is there a bearded whale? I just have in my head the picture of a whale with a beard. So, no, just no. What's your favorite fire starting method? Really? Okay, so my favorite fire starting method is to put tons and tons of gasoline on some flammable material and light it up with something that lights things up, like a lighter or a match or magnesium torch or fire, basically, just fire. The more serious answer to the question is my favorite fire starting method is the classic Zippo lighter. My favorite fire starting method regarding bushcraft things is the fire steel, definitely the fire steel, because it's by far, in my opinion, and I'm just talking my opinion, the most reliable. You can strike it pretty much with any kind of steel which is not stainless. I remind you, don't strike fire steels with stainless steel, it doesn't work. Yeah, it works when it's wet, and you need to have far less skills than with, for example, a bow drill or other kinds of friction fire. So the kind of fire pistons are also really interesting, but getting a fire piston to work in really damp weather conditions, yeah. Everyone who knows videos about fire pistons will say, oh no, fire pistons are the best and they always work, and everyone who used fire pistons themselves will say, yeah, pretty good concept, works most of the time when you have the right charcoal prepared. And yeah, basically, who is going to make a fire in a real, and I remind you, in a real post-apocalyptic scenario with a fire piston? With a fire piston. There are a million and millions of tons of these cheap big lighters, these cheap disposable lighters in every store around the world. Even 10 years or 20 years after the apocalypse, there will be tons and tons of these cheap lighters around. Who is going to use a fire piston? Who? Okay, so next I will throw in some of the questions I can't really answer seriously. One of them is, judging by this whole... okay. It's another demonetization question. Judging by the monetization of all of your last videos, what would you say if you talked to the CEO of YouTube? Yeah, what would I say is easy. Stop criminalizing people for what they are doing. Stop making content or dividing content in different sections, because every content, and I mean really every content, is valuable for some kind of people. Maybe not for any kind of people, but when I talk about rifle, it's valuable for gun owners, for example. Why are gun owners in general criminals? So she would not listen to me. It's as easy as that. It's business. YouTube is business. Business is earning money. And as long as YouTube, or Google to be exact, continue earning money, why they should change anything? So for sure it's not a good thing, but what should I do? I joined the YouTubers Union, which I said in the beginning, and I think it's really great, and I think you should stand up for your rights. But what will I say to her? I think yeah, question answered. So, the next question, it's asked by Blacksmith Lewis. Oh, it's kind of a business question. Do you guys have a PO box or some kind of way to send bug out tools to? So, I don't have a PO box yet. I will make one, that's for sure, but a PO box in Austria is costing really a substantial amount of money, so I want to have one. I can't afford it at the moment, but there will be one, and as soon as there is one, so I encourage you, when you are watching this video in the future, to go down to the description below, because maybe I have a post box at this time that you're watching the video, and you can send stuff to me for sure. If you're liking to send stuff to me now, when I don't have a PO box, just contact me via Facebook. So on Facebook I have a button directly on the starting page of the Postapocalyptic Garage Facebook page, where you can see send mail to or send mail, and you can mail me. I'll read the mails, and if you're kind of a serious guy and not some kind of stalker or something, and when you make a serious impression, I will mail you my email, my shipping address, and you can ship something to me. It's as easy as that. If you're a stalker and you manage to get me to send you my address, and if you come to me, and if you're the kind of creepy people, many of you know that I have 2 daughters, and I really live in an area which is kind of remote. So I love living in an area which is remote because there are no people, and I really don't like people. So if you're coming, not having sent me some kind of message in which you tell me that you are coming, and if I have not agreed that you are coming, getting prepared to get shot. So it's as easy as that. Stand your ground is perfectly legal in Austria, so try it. Maybe you're better armed than me, maybe you are more skillful than me, but I will not give without a fight, so just try it. Not really seriously talking. So, enough talking shit for now, just the next question. Gary Minnick asks, I like that bearded X over your shoulder there. Is it for sale? This one? Yes. Similar ones to this one? Yes, for sure. But I'm not sure if now when this video goes online, but everyone who I've said but 4 times in one sentence? Seriously? Okay. If you have watched my last videos, you have probably seen that or heard that I've talked about the Postapocalyptic shop, and it's finished now, basically. The link is going out to my Patreon supporters in the next couple of days. When I film this, so maybe it's already by my Patreon users when you see this video. So if you're a Patreon supporter, check out your inbox, and in this shop you can buy the original items which I have built in a specific video. So this exact one that I've built in the video, and you can also buy copies of it. So you can buy, for example, the bearded axe, which I have made originally in this video. It will be a little bit more expensive, but you will get a certificate and everything with it, and you will also be able to buy an axe which looks the same, was made the same by me in the garage, only without cameras, and not only with the axe, also with the other kind of things, like my jewelry collection, for example. So be sure to check out the shop. When it's online, a link will appear, thanks to the magic of after editing, in the video right here now, and there will also be a link in the description below, so check it out, and for sure you can buy it. Yeah. Frank Blue asks, are there any possibilities for donations to your channel other than on Patreon? I think I'm going in the business section of the questions right now. Yes and no. Other possibilities for donations than Patreon? For sure, there is the possibility of PayPal donations, but to get the PayPal donations working, you need an American tax number, a USA tax number, and I thought the Austrian tax system was really complicated. If you have ever tried to get an American tax number, yeah, as a non-American, it's not really kind of easy. Yeah, still working on that, but it's requested. I have got all the paperwork out, and I'm looking forward to get my number in the next couple of weeks, or in the next 4 weeks, or in the next 1765 or something years. Yeah, then there will be a PayPal donations account where you can send money to. Also, if you're living in Austria, feel free to write me a mail. We can make a meeting. Meet me. Come to the garage. Take a briefcase of money with you. You will get a beer, a cheap one, and we can talk, and you give me the money, and yeah. Please, anyone out there? At least one of you? Oh, come on. Okay, so basically that was it for the most of the questions, or at least the commonly asked questions. And if your question wasn't amongst it, feel free to share it in the comment section below. I will answer that on a different point, but I think I have answered most of them. Most of you just wanted to know what happened to the old shop. I think I've answered that, and what happened to my life. I think I answered that as well, sorry. And yeah, there are also questions which I can't answer really, because they're really hard to answer. When I was making the plans about making a YouTube channel and going online with videos and talking to an audience, I decided to not make any political statements. So some of you ask about the Florida shootings, for example, in private messages, and about things like that in general. And they are really hard to answer for me, because that's a really serious topic, and I don't know if a channel like this should answering to things like that in general. So, for example, I had a huge argument with some friends of mine on Facebook about regarding the whole school shooting things, and President Trump was proposing the idea that you should arm the teachers. And this one friend of mine, for example, was talking about, oh, more guns means more violence and something like this. And that's exactly the thing which I don't really want to go into in my videos, because there are only two opinions, the yes or no. You can't stand between them, and I'm not the kind of guy who don't want to make a point about something, but I think many YouTubers, especially YouTubers, and media as a whole, are abusing their viewers to get a certain point across, which is their personal view on some things. It's their opinion. I have an opinion, you have an opinion. They have not to be the same opinion that we can be friends, or for example, you love to watch when I build something. Did that mean, or do that mean that you have to have the same political opinion as I have? It's no. I think when I watch, for example, a guy who built something on YouTube, then I like what he's building. I don't care if he is right-wing or left-wing, if he is Democrat or Republican. I don't care. I like what he's building. I maybe, if he's a liberal, don't agree with him politically, but I like what he is building. So my opinion, for example, on this topic is that I think that a person who is a gun owner, who is responsible and who is a law-abiding citizen, can prevent crime. So, for example, when you take a gas station, just take a gas station, and you make this gas station a gun-free zone, and you are a criminal and you want to rob this gun station. You can go in there, it's fine. You have your illegal gun, you go in there, you point your gun at the clerk and say, give me all your money. And he have basically two ways to go. Give you all the money or being shot. Which one will he take? He will give you the money and you will run away. Maybe you will be catched by the police, but you will get away, you will live. So take the same gas station. Take the same gas station in a country where from 5 citizens, 3 have a gun. Maybe a concealed carry license or something like that. And you are entering this gas station and there are 3 customers. Would you pull your gun out and point it on the clerk? Because the possibility of one of the customers is pulling a gun himself and shoot you in the face is quite high. So which gas station will you rob? The gas station which is a gun-free zone, or the gas station in a country where there are many gun owners? So I think guns can enhance safety. My personal opinion, hadn't to be yours. And I think that you have to be responsible, you have to be law-abiding, of course, and then it can be a good thing. But every good thing can turn bad if there are some idiots. And yeah, I don't want to get into too deep, and I basically have the same opinion with schools, but yeah, as I said, my opinion. Okay, so the next question, which is pretty hard to answer for me, is a really simple one indeed. So how should I explain this? This question insults me. I'm really sure that the person who've written this comment was not in the mood of deliberately insulting me, and I think that for him it's a really reasonable question, and for many of you maybe it's a really reasonable question. And it's a simple question. I can answer it with one sentence, but I can't. I just can't, because he asks, and please, if you're the person who have written this message, it's not an insult to you that I point this out in such a graphic way, but I think it's a problem which is basically in our society right now, and we, as gun owners in this case, have to deal with this kind of stupidity. And not saying that you are stupid who have written this question, but it's a stupidity in the whole society. So he asks, what assault rifles do you have? I have a Steyr AUG. That's a semi-automatic rifle. I have many more rifles. 21 to be exact. I have pistols. 6 to be exact. I have 1 revolver and I have 4 shotguns. So I have no assault rifles. Recently I've bought an AR-15 and this is also a semi-automatic rifle. It's just a semi-automatic rifle. And even when, just think about, I would live in America and I'm in some states and with the right permits are allowed to have a fully automatic rifle. It's no assault rifle. Assault is an action, not a thing. And we really have to get around the things how you call some certain kinds of stuff, because I'm just losing the words completely, because it's really an important thing to me to not call it an assault rifle. And you know, it's easy. Take my hand for example. When my daughter or one of my daughters are going to sleep at night, I will take this hand and I don't know the word in English, but I will drag them over their face, and it's really nice, it's lovely, and they love it, I love it, and this is my hand. This is just here, you see? I get it a little closer to you. Just a little, that you can see that this is only a normal hand. Forward, backward, just a hand. And now I go to the next pub. I will order 2 or 3 beers, have a little bit of a good time with my friends, and a little scumbag comes over talking shit and something, and I will take this same hand, which was just a few hours before on the head of my daughter, and I will make this hand into a fist, and I will punch this sucker as hard as I can. Now my hand has become an assault hand. And for example, when I take this knife here and I cut some bread with it, it's perfectly fine. And if I cut some bacon with it, it's perfectly fine. When I take a piece of wood and carve something beautiful out of it, it's art, it's perfectly fine. If I use it for bushcrafting or for building, it's a tool, I can use the thing as a tool. Or I can take the thing in a dagger grip. I prefer regular grip, but you can see the video from me about knife fighting to get the point. And I can take this thing and stab someone who has not done anything to me, right in the liver. Now, this thing here has become an assault weapon. And I can take this drinking horn and I can poke it in your eye really, really hard. And maybe I can poke it in your eye as hard that you're dying. You're dying. You're just dead, laying on the floor in front of me. And it has become an assault horn. It's not the thing, it's the action. You call this a drinking horn because it's a horn, obviously, and you drink out of it. So and it's empty, so it's a bad drink horn. But drinking is the action, horn is the thing, assault is the action, and rifle is the thing. So to answer your question, I have an AR-15 and I have a Steyr AUG, and these are semi-automatic rifles. Sorry for the rant, but please get it right, please. Every one of you, if somebody of you are planning to write a comment in the future asking about rifles or guns in general, don't use the terminology of an action together with a thing. Just ask me what rifles do I have. Just ask me what semi-automatic rifles do I have. Just ask me what camera do I use. Because when I take this camera, right, this one, okay, I've pointed at you, but you know there's a camera in front because I'm filming a video, and I take this camera and I really pounding your head with it, time after time after time. It is an assault camera. It's not the camera which is bad, it's the person. I have no assault rifles because I don't use rifles to assault. I use rifles to defend. If anytime there comes the situation that I have to defend myself or my family, I will take my rifle to do some hunting, then it's a hunting rifle, and maybe I will use my rifle for something else, but I'm not assaulting people with it. So I have no assault rifles, and we as really responsible gun owners have to deal with this kind of public relations, I will call it, because we are not assaulting people. We are law-abiding citizens which are owning guns. It's easy as that, and we use them for recreational purposes, or for sporting purposes, or for hunting purposes, or for any kind of purpose. But we don't assault people. Bad people assault people. And I hope you, as my viewers, are no bad people. And even when you write some bad comments, you are no bad people. If you're a gun owner, you are not assaulting people. Illegal gun owners assault people, at the most. For sure there are some, but most of them are just people. I think it will be pretty good to associate actions with people. If there is a guy who likes to punch others, he's an assault guy, for example. Or when a guy likes beer way too much, he's a drinking guy. Or when he's an idiot, he's a dumb guy. But it's not the thing that he have in his hand. It's the people. It's the guy which is taking the action. It's not the gun. I can take this gun, I can lay it on the floor, and I can assure you that it is not going to shoot people by itself. There have to come a bad guy, take it and shoot someone. And this horn will be not a drinking horn if it lays on the ground. It will just be a horn. So I think that's enough ramble on that topic. I think you get the point. And another thing which comes to my mind right now, if there is a possibility that you are liking what I have to say about certain topics, like this whole gun thing or something, please let me know in the comments below, but because maybe we can make a series in the future, a series, not a serious, a series, where I just ramble on things. I get so many things I will ramble about, which I'm personally not thinking that are appropriate to my channel, because my channel is all about building stuff. But from time to time a little ramble about common sense or about the whole society if you're interested in my opinion, not saying that my opinion is better than your opinion, but if you're interested in me as a person, in what I think about certain topics, please let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can make something like that in the future. Will be really interesting to get the answer from you. One moment please. And just have to make it into a good drinking horn. There is always the things and good and bad. I think an empty drinking horn is always bad. There is no good empty drinking horn. And it holds half a liter, so now it's a really good drinking horn again. Oh, I'm definitely getting demonetized on a Q&A video. It's okay. Okay, so after rambling about 2 really easy questions for half an hour, I think, and answering many of your questions, I think it's enough for today's video. And if you like this kind of video, please consider giving a thumbs up, and also feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I will really appreciate it. If you have questions for the future, just post it below this video. You can always ask me things on Facebook, and I hope you have enjoyed this video, even when there is no really building process, no fancy camera angles, and not so much of cutting, and leaving in most of my mistakes and my thinking and my not so perfect language skills and completely, basically unscripted talking. Please let me just know in the comments below. I'm really curious to see, to see what you're thinking about it. Yeah, and that's basically it for today. So if you don't have already subscribed, please consider subscribing to this channel. If you're not planning to subscribing because you've seen what I'm doing now, be sure that most of my videos are build videos, and we have 2 Q&As now for 44 or 46 videos, so mostly build videos. Check them out and subscribe then, it will be great. Also consider becoming a Patreon of us, so supporting our channel, supporting what we are doing, and keep us up and running. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope it was not as boring as I think it was, and stay tuned for the next building video. I will drink 1 or 2 horns now and get over the idea that I upload mostly unscripted and unedited video, which is not really what I like to do. I really like to make the appearance that it's mostly good what I'm doing, and I don't like such half good-ish things. But as I said, let me know what you're thinking about. And at last, cheers folks, have a nice evening and goodbye.